3 at the house, 2 on the road. We'll do everything we can to try to get one game at a time.
Yeah.
Do you expect Blewett to play?
I don't know. Actually, I'm now just into their game film against Villanova. Obviously without him, they're a different team. Without Sumner, coach has done a great job positioning their guys where their strengths are, but they lose a little bit of depth. They're a different team than they were the very first game of the Big East. So are we.
You never shied away from the blue carpet in the past, talking about destinations and everything for your
Sure.
teams in the past. Have you necessarily talked blue carpet, but also the potential for this group if we take care of business going forward?
I think you got to know the pulse of your team, and that's always the goal. I think they know that in the back of their head right now. We just got to try to see what we can do to beat Xavier. You really got to talk about just a matter of game.
How are they different without Sumner? It's been six games or so already.
Well, they're not as when you look at the offensive rhythm, he had a lot to do with their offensive rhythm and pace with his quickness and length. Although, their freshman point guard has done a really good job coming in, scoring for them. He was a triple threat every time. They could rebound, defend, and shoot. So, I think they've rebounded well with him, but not having that depth definitely makes them different.
Are you concerned about offense, second half, Seton Hall, first half, Butler, or is that just,
I think that's who we've been all year. We go hot and cold. Today we need to talk about efficiency and flow of our offense. I think our defense has improved every game over the last 4 games, but now we have to continue to improve offensively. And some of it's cutting hard, sprinting hard, and really knowing what we're doing.
Sense of urgency, Ed, from the team now that you're on the stretch around here?
We've had a sense of urgency since 2011. Every game's urgent, every game's important, but you're right at the cusp. You can go either way right now, and hopefully, with another home game and some good luck, maybe we can get lucky and beat a great team like Xavier.
You talked just a little about the importance of getting that win on Saturday. I mean, I'm guessing the guys' psyches were kind of a little damaged, and just the importance of
confidence, because we have been close. When you look at our Villanova game, minute to play, down 4 on the foul line. You look at our Seton Hall game in overtime, we had to get ball to win the game in regulation. So some of their confidence could be shot. We backed off their legs for a couple of days, literally didn't practice for 2 days prior to the game. We just talked about how can we win a game in the last couple of minutes. And this team is learning how to win.
The pros and cons, I guess, Khalif starting, Emmett coming off the bench. You talked about a little bit the other day, you have 2 games now of that. How is that? Is that a move that's kind of maybe here to stay, or is that a game-by-game kind of thing?
It's a game-by-game thing. Emmett obviously nursing a really sore ankle, but at the same time trying to keep him in the game as long as we can. He has been foul-prone, so want to make sure we try to limit some of his fouls.
With your offensive flow, is it everything based on making shots? Sometimes
Well, I think in basketball, everything's based on making shots. Everything's about the ball going through the basket. You get more energy that way from a defensive standpoint. But we got to take the right shots. And in order to make them, you got to take the right ones. Do what the game tells you to do, and I think the ball goes in the basket a bit more frequently.
Can you make sense of this conference right now? Besides Villanova,
Oh my
everyone else
God!
is just...
Wow, it's. I mean, this league is. It's scary because again, you can't go into anybody's building and think you can get a win. You got to strap it up. And again, in the second half of the season, we've all played each other. Going on our second time, so some subtle adjustments have to be made. But I also think guys are a little bit more confident in their roles. Early in the season, the roles are still being identified. Right now, everybody knows their role. You kind of have your rotation down, and now's the time to try to make some hay if we can.
And maybe, along with the whole young kind of thing, throwing that new wrinkle in there to a degree, like maybe, because teams you said know you by now, having that little, saying Khalif come off the bench, start, is that a little adjustment that you have to make as a coach just to maybe switch it up?
Well, no, we see it every day in practice. The adjustments come more on the defensive side, more so than anything. Because, you have your staple points offensively. Khalif is still growing in an offensive role, but he's not the guy we're dependent on to win us the game on the offensive end. We need him to be more systematically good player for us as he develops. His time is coming. It's just not right now, and we have to filter it through the other guys.
Thanks, Coach.